Few figures in military history are as well known as Chester W. Nimitz. Imagine a giant of naval strategy and leadership whose influence endures for generations. Nimitz, who was born in Fredericksburg, Texas on February 24, 1885, went on to become one of the most illustrious admirals in the U.S. Navy. His brilliant and tenacious career influenced the course of World War II and permanently altered naval warfare fundamentals. Behind the suit, though, was Chester W. Nimitz. Beneath the formalities of maritime etiquette and under the authority of command, there is a tale of will and foresight. Beyond only being a commander, Nimitz was also a brilliant tactician, a strategic thinker, and an inspiration to people who reported to him. Come join us as we explore Chester W. Nimitz, the man behind the medals, the commander behind the legends, as we take you on a tour through his life and times. His tale of success and misfortune is a monument to the strength of foresight, the value of leadership, and the unwavering spirit of bravery in the face of impossible obstacles. Let's explore his adventures and successes and get to know this extraordinary person whose name became a byword for nautical prowess and whose legacy will continue to motivate future generations. Chester W. Nimitz made significant and varied contributions to maritime history. Nimitz, a visionary strategist and motivating leader, had a significant influence on how the Pacific theater of World War II unfolded and how naval combat is conducted today. Nimitz's decisive actions and strategic acumen marked his leadership during World War II. In his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Fleet, he skillfully directed a sequence of audacious actions that eventually resulted in the triumph of the Allies in the Pacific. Among his greatest successes was the Battle of Midway, when his tactical savvy and intelligence led to a resounding victory that changed the course of the conflict. Furthermore, Nimitz's execution of the island-hopping operation illustrated his creative strategy for combat. He successfully neutralized Japanese resistance while preserving Allied resources by eluding well-entrenched enemy positions and hitting at critical locations. In addition to shortening the war's duration and minimizing losses, this tactic quickened the Allied march against Japan. Nimitz is a renowned figure in naval history due to his leadership style and personal qualities, which go beyond his strategic achievements. His unshakable devotion to his sailors and his integrity and humility were well-known qualities. Nimitz gained the respect and admiration of people under his leadership by fostering an environment of empowerment and trust. Nimitz's achievements went beyond the battlefield as well. He was instrumental in the reconstruction of the United States as Chief of Naval Operations following the war. He modified the Navy to meet the demands of the post-war period. His support for scientific advancement and preparedness created the foundation for the Navy's modernization and guaranteed its enduring dominance at sea. To sum up, Chester W. Nimitz made unmatched contributions to maritime history. His strategic genius, strong leadership, and lasting legacy continue to shape the concepts of naval warfare, serving as an inspiration to future generations of naval officers. Nimitz's influence on naval history goes beyond his combat successes. He is a living example of the strength of inspirational leadership and the unwavering commitment to naval brilliance. On February 24, 1885, Chester W. Nimitz was born in Fredericksburg, Texas, a small town rich in the cultural legacy of German immigration. Growing up in this charming hill country hamlet, the values of his close-knit community and the rugged beauty of the surrounding countryside shaped Nimitz. Fredericksburg, a small town in central Texas, gave young Nimitz a kind environment throughout his early years. Due to its German ancestry, the town has a strong sense of resilience, a strong work ethic, and a great respect for tradition. These principles would have a lasting impact on Nimitz's personality, shaping his style of leadership and his unflinching commitment to his responsibilities. His parents' retirement as an army officer instilled in Nimitz a life of discipline and dedication at a young age. Chester Bernhard Nimitz, his father, laid the groundwork for his future military career by instilling in him a sense of honor and duty. Growing up in a family with a strong military lineage further fueled Nimitz's ambition to follow in his father's footsteps. Fredericksburg may be far away, but Nimitz had a wonderful childhood full of experiences that would mold his personality. Spending his early years roaming the untamed landscape of the Texas Hill Country, he came to appreciate the outdoors. His future naval career would greatly benefit from the resourcefulness and resilience these early events instilled in him. Furthermore, Nimitz would never forget the sense of companionship and support that the tight-knit community of Fredericksburg cultivated. He developed a profound respect for teamwork and collaboration as a result of the town's strong sense of community. These qualities would later become defining characteristics of his leadership style. All in all, Nimitz's childhood and early years in Fredericksburg, Texas, gave him a solid foundation based on custom, discipline, and community. During these early years, he developed the morals and character traits that would serve him well during his incredible career in the U.S. Navy. The influences and family history of Chester W. Nimitz had a big impact on how his life and career turned out. Nimitz was instilled with a strong sense of duty, honor, and service at a young age due to his military heritage as a family member. Chester Bernhard Nimitz, the father of Nimitz, was a Civil War veteran and retired Army officer. Being a well-respected community member and veteran, he gave his son a strong sense of pride in the military and a dedication to preserving its ideals. Nimitz's father instilled in him the values of sacrifice, discipline, and honesty, values that would serve as pillars of strength throughout his life. In addition, Nimitz had a sense of history and continuity from his family. Nimitz, deeply rooted in his family's service history, counted his grandfather and great-grandfather among his many military ancestors. He felt obligated and responsible to preserve the honor of his family name and to remember the sacrifices made by those who came before him because of this legacy. Not only his father, but also the nurturing atmosphere of his close-knit family influenced Nimitz. Growing up in Fredericksburg, Texas, Nimitz had first-hand experience with the ties that bind family and the value of supporting one another. His family gave him a secure and supportive environment, supporting his goals and interests, and giving him a sense of self-assurance and independence. Additionally, his family introduced Nimitz to a life of travel and adventure at a young age. As the son of a military officer, he lived in various parts of the United States, exposing him to diverse cultures and settings. His horizons were expanded, and these early encounters gave him a spirit of inquiry and adaptability that would serve him well in the Navy. In summary, Chester W. Nimitz's family history and influences significantly shaped his upbringing and the course of his life. As he set out on his path to become one of the most illustrious admirals in United States Navy history, Nimitz found strength and inspiration in his roots, from his father's example of duty and honor to the support of his close-knit family. Chester W. Nimitz's extraordinary path to becoming one of the most known naval leaders in history was made possible by his early career decisions and educational choices. Nimitz's experiences influenced his path to a remarkable career in the Navy, starting with his early postings and decisions during his formative years at the United States Naval Academy. Nimitz's appointment to the USNA Academy at Annapolis, Maryland, marked the start of his academic career. Following in the footsteps of his father and grandfather, who had all served in the military, he enrolled in the academy in 1901. Nimitz acquired demanding training in naval science, engineering, and leadership at Annapolis, where he honed the abilities and knowledge required for a lucrative career in the Navy. He developed a strong sense of discipline, professionalism, and devotion to duty throughout his time at the Academy. Nimitz began his early naval career in 1905, following his graduation from the Naval Academy. During his initial deployments, he served on a number of ships and picked up important expertise in shipboard operations, seamanship, and navigation. At this time, Nimitz gained the respect of both his superiors and peers by showcasing his extraordinary leadership potential and sharp intelligence. Nimitz took on more difficult positions and responsibilities as he progressed in his naval career in the years that followed. His early career decisions were a reflection of his dedication to lifelong learning and job advancement. He pursued possibilities for higher training and study, including graduate work in engineering and naval warfare. These experiences broadened his knowledge base and prepared him for future leadership roles in the Navy. Furthermore, Nimitz's early professional decisions exemplified his flexibility and adaptability as a naval officer. He held a number of positions and responsibilities, including managing shipyard operations and commanding submarines. Nimitz's wide range of experiences gave him a comprehensive grasp of naval operations and logistics, which prepared him for future success as a strategic leader. In conclusion, Chester W. Nimitz's early career decisions and educational background had a significant influence on how his career as a naval officer developed. He gained a strong foundation of knowledge and abilities throughout his time at the Naval Academy, and his early choices and assignments demonstrated his commitment to leadership, service, and professional excellence. These early encounters prepared Nimitz for his remarkable career and his ultimate ascent to become one of the most illustrious admirals in naval history. The admission of Chester W. Nimitz to the United States Naval Academy was a critical turning point in his ascent to become a prominent naval officer. In addition to reflecting his own goals, his acceptance into this esteemed university demonstrated the U.S. Navy's recognition of his leadership ability. The Naval Academy appointed Nimitz through a competitive procedure that considered his academic achievement, physical fitness, and character. His application to the school likely highlighted his desire to join the Navy, his academic excellence, and his dedication to serve. Nimitz's decision to apply for admission to the school may have been influenced by his family's long history in the military. After receiving his appointment, Nimitz embarked on a new journey, departing from his childhood home of Fredericksburg, Texas, to pursue his training at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. The institution, which is well known for its demanding academic programme and extensive naval training programme, gave Nimitz the chance to acquire the abilities and information required for a fruitful career in the Navy. Nimitz studied a wide range of disciplines at the Naval Academy, including physics, engineering, mathematics, and naval history. In order to improve his physical condition and leadership skills, he also took part in military exercises and physical training. Nimitz also took on leadership responsibilities and participated in extracurricular activities, which improved both his character and professional development. In addition to providing Nimitz with the theoretical groundwork and real-world experience required for naval service, Nimitz's time at the Naval Academy imbued him with the fundamental principles of loyalty, duty, and honor. The demanding training program at the school prepared him for the rigors and responsibilities of a career in the Navy by testing his intellectual and physical limits. All things considered, Nimitz's admission to the USNA marked the start of a lifetime dedication to leadership and duty. It gave him the knowledge, experience, and morals he needed to succeed as a naval officer and significantly contribute to his nation's defense. His time at the Academy prepared him to become one of the most renowned admirals in American Navy history and laid the groundwork for his extraordinary career. Early deployments and experiences in the U.S. Navy had a significant impact on Chester W. Nimitz's growth as a naval officer and leader. After completing his studies at the United States Naval Academy, Nimitz took on a number of jobs that gave him practical experience and chances to advance his career. Typically, Nimitz's early assignments featured duty on a variety of stations and ships, giving him hands-on experience in shipboard operations, navigation, and seamanship. These deployments provided him with the necessary information and skills for a successful naval career, while also exposing him to the realities of life at sea. Nimitz's first assignment was on board the USS Ohio, a battleship of the Great White Fleet that made a historic round of the globe to demonstrate the might of the American naval force. While serving as a junior officer on the Ohio, Nimitz visited many ports and took part in cooperative exercises with foreign navies, giving him personal knowledge of fleet operations and international diplomacy. During his early career, Nimitz also served on a number of other ships, such as the USS Baltimore and the USS Decatur. These missions exposed him to a variety of ships and operational settings, expanding his knowledge of naval tactics and strategy. Nimitz's career took a dramatic turn in 1912 when he was tasked with serving on a submarine, first as the USS Plunger's executive officer and then as its commanding officer. He was exposed to the cutting edge of submarine warfare technology during his tenure in the submarine service, where he also had the opportunity to lead the way in the creation of submarine doctrine and tactics. Nimitz showed himself to be a capable and creative officer during his early missions, winning the respect of both his peers and superiors. He demonstrated his leadership qualities, strategic thinking, and commitment to duty by performing well in a variety of roles and responsibilities. All things considered, Chester W. Nimitz's early deployments and experiences in the U.S. Navy gave him a strong basis for his success as a naval officer and leader in the future. They made it possible for him to acquire the abilities, know-how, and leadership traits required to take advantage of the chances and overcome the obstacles that awaited him in his extraordinary career. Chester W. Nimitz gradually developed his leadership skills and strategic thinking during his naval career as a result of his early experiences, education, and ongoing exposure to difficult circumstances. Through a combination of practical experience, mentoring, and introspection, Nimitz developed his strategic acumen and leadership abilities from his early years at the USNA to his eventual ascent to the top ranks of naval command. One of the major factors influencing Nimitz's development as a leader was his education at the Naval Academy, where he faced a demanding curriculum that stressed not just technical knowledge, but also concepts of leadership and command. Nimitz gained insight into the significance of decisiveness, accountability, and clear communication via his schooling, military drills, and hands-on training activities. These attributes are critical for successful leadership in the Navy. Furthermore, Nimitz had the chance to practice his leadership abilities and gain knowledge from both achievements and setbacks during his early assignments and experiences in a variety of Navy posts. Nimitz gained a thorough understanding of naval operations and honed his decision-making skills under duress by serving on a variety of ships, taking part in fleet exercises, and commanding submarines. Nimitz's time spent as an executive officer and then as the submarine USS Plunger's commanding officer had a significant influence on his strategic thinking and leadership style. Nimitz had to show excellent leadership, inventiveness, and adaptability in order to lead a crew in the cramped and dangerous environment of a submarine. These traits would come in handy in his future command duties. Furthermore, Nimitz gained important insights into the intricacies of contemporary naval warfare and the significance of strategic planning and coordination from his experiences serving in a variety of roles during World War I, from Chief of Staff to Commander of the Atlantic Submarine Force. Nimitz kept honing his strategic thinking and leadership skills as he rose through the Navy's ranks and took on more responsibility, such as postings as Chief of Naval Operations and Commander-in-Chief, Pacific Fleet. During World War II, Nimitz led substantial naval forces in the Pacific theater and demonstrated remarkable tactical acumen, strategic vision, and the capacity to instill trust and loyalty in his subordinates. In conclusion, Chester W. Nimitz underwent a lifetime of learning, adaptation, and development as he developed his strategic thinking and leadership skills. From his early years at the Naval Academy to his leadership of the Pacific Fleet in World War II, Nimitz embodied the qualities of a visionary leader who could skillfully, honorably, and bravely negotiate the challenges of naval warfare. Chester W. Nimitz made numerous important contributions and carried out a variety of tasks that aided the American Navy's efforts in the First World War. Even though America joined the war in April 1917 somewhat late, Nimitz's strategic leadership and efforts proved important in a number of ways. At first, Nimitz reported to Admiral William Sims, the commander of the Atlantic Submarine Force, as Chief of Staff. Nimitz's responsibility in this capacity was to direct submarine operations in the Atlantic Ocean against German U-boats. His first-hand knowledge of naval combat tactics and operations planning from this job prepared him for his future leadership positions. After serving in the Atlantic Submarine Force, Nimitz moved to the office of the Chief of Naval Operations in Washington, D.C. While there, he was instrumental in establishing naval strategy and policy that lasted the entire war. Nimitz's strategic thinking and analytical abilities were crucial in identifying countermeasures to defend Allied commerce lanes from German naval forces and in evaluating the changing naval threats. Nimitz also participated in the organizing and carrying out of convoy operations to protect merchant ships from German submarine attacks while they were being escorted across the Atlantic. By organizing these convoys, he was able to lessen the effects of the German U-boat operations and guarantee the safe delivery of reinforcements and supplies to the Allied forces in Europe. Furthermore, Nimitz gained important insights on the developing significance of submarines in naval warfare from his experiences during World War I. In the years between the wars, he became an advocate for the growth and development of the U.S. Navy's submarine fleet, seeing in it the potential for a formidable weapon. Overall, Chester W. Nimitz's participation in and responsibilities during World War I demonstrated his capacity for strategic thought, leadership, and commitment to the goals of the U.S. Navy. His contributions to naval strategy, convoy operations, and submarine warfare techniques set the stage for his eventual rise to become one of the most illustrious admirals in American naval history. Chester W. Nimitz learned important lessons and experienced things during World War I that would have a big impact on his leadership and naval career later on. Through his experiences in multiple roles during the fight and his studies of the mechanics of naval warfare, Nimitz gained valuable insights that influenced his approach to strategic thinking and leadership. The value of creativity and flexibility in naval warfare was one of the most important lessons Nimitz took away from World War I. He had direct experience with the changing strategies and equipment used by both enemy and Allied troops, while serving as Chief of Staff to the commander of the Atlantic Submarine Force. Nimitz understood that in order to defeat new threats, like German U-boats, and take advantage of fresh chances for naval superiority, the U.S. Navy would have to constantly modify its plans and tactics. Furthermore, Nimitz's experiences in the First World War highlighted how crucial supply chain management and logistics are to maintaining military operations. Nimitz came to understand the logistical difficulties of contemporary warfare as the Allies battled to keep up supply and communication lines across the Atlantic. This realization would subsequently guide his strategy for organizing and carrying out naval campaigns, stressing the necessity of strong logistical support to maintain naval operations for extended periods of time. In addition, Nimitz had practical knowledge of organizing intricate international operations to defend commercial ships against enemy assaults through his participation in convoy operations. This event made clear how crucial coalition building, interagency cooperation, and clear communication are to accomplishing shared military goals. Nimitz's leadership style, a blend of strategic brilliance, integrity, and adaptability in subsequent confrontations, would be characterized by his ability to establish alliances and manage joint operations. In addition, Nimitz's involvement in World War I exposed him to the wider geopolitical forces influencing international relations, in addition to the human cost and sacrifices of battle. These encounters gave him a strong feeling of honor, duty, and obligation to protect the interests of the US and its allies, which served as the cornerstone for his steadfast dedication to leadership and service throughout his professional life. In conclusion, the knowledge and experiences Chester W. Nimitz gained during World War I greatly influenced his growth as a naval officer and leader. Nimitz gained invaluable insights from this conflict that shaped his legacy as one of the most illustrious admirals in American naval history, ranging from the significance of logistics and coalition building to the importance of innovation and adaptability. Chester W. Nimitz's experiences and insights from World War I had a significant influence on his professional path and naval combat philosophy. First off, he brought to light the necessity of flexibility and creativity in naval tactics due to his exposure to the difficulties of submarine warfare and convoy operations. Nimitz understood that in order for the US Navy to effectively confront new threats, its tactics had to be continuously updated. This insight would shape his perspective on naval warfare, emphasizing the importance of adaptability, inventiveness, and forward thinking in preparation and execution. In addition, Nimitz's experiences in the First World War highlighted how vital supply chain management and logistics are to the continuation of military operations. He was present as the Allies struggled to keep up their supply and communication lines due to logistical issues. This knowledge informed Nimitz's emphasis on logistical planning and support during the course of his career, as he realized how crucial it is to provide sufficient infrastructure and resources to support naval operations for extended periods of time. Furthermore, Nimitz developed his coalition building and interagency cooperation skills through his participation in international convoy operations. He became aware of the importance of forming coalitions and directing coordinated actions to accomplish shared military goals. His leadership style would be characterized by this collaborative approach, which he utilized to increase the efficiency of naval operations through partnerships and cooperation. All things considered, Chester W. Nimitz's experiences in World War I had a significant impact on his future professional life and naval warfare strategy. Nimitz gained invaluable insights from this conflict that shaped his legacy as one of the most illustrious admirals in American naval history, ranging from the significance of logistics and coalition building to the importance of innovation and adaptability. Chester W. Nimitz's deployments and promotions in the US Navy during the interwar period between World Wars I and II were characterized by a continuous increase in responsibility and an acknowledgement of his leadership ability. Following the end of World War I, Nimitz continued moving up the ranks and took on different responsibilities that helped him hone his abilities as a naval officer. Nimitz's appointment as the battleship USS South Carolina's executive officer was one notable position during the interwar period. He gained invaluable leadership and shipboard operations expertise by serving in this capacity, and he also had the chance to polish his managerial abilities in a sizable and intricate organizational environment. Nimitz received more responsibilities and promotions due to his excellent work performance while serving on the USS South Carolina. Subsequently, Nimitz assumed the role of commander on the battleship USS California, and later assumed the role of commanding officer on the cruiser USS Augusta. Through these command postings, Nimitz further cemented his status as a rising star in the Navy by showcasing his strategic thinking and leadership skills in real-world operational circumstances. Throughout the interwar period, Nimitz held a variety of shore-based positions in addition to his seafaring responsibilities. In his roles in naval administration and planning, he helped shape operational and strategic conceptions for upcoming naval combat. His attempts to modernize the Navy and get it ready for the problems of the future were clear examples of his analytical abilities and forward-thinking outlook. As a naval commander and leader, Chester W. Nimitz's deployments and advancements during the interwar period generally demonstrated his continuous progress. His rise through a succession of progressively challenging positions proved his proficiency, professionalism, and commitment to the military, paving the way for his eventual ascent to become one of the most illustrious admirals in American Navy history. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, Chester W. Nimitz reacted with a mix of astonishment, grit, and an unyielding commitment to guide the U.S. Navy through one of its darkest moments. At the time of the attack, Nimitz was the commander-in-chief of the Pacific Fleet, and he faced the enormous task of organizing his forces and planning a counterattack against the devastating Japanese surprise strike. Nimitz moved rapidly to coordinate efforts to evaluate the damage, secure the harbor, and mobilize available forces for immediate defense and rescue operations as soon as he learned of the attack. Nimitz maintained composure and concentration in the face of the mayhem and disarray that followed the attack, giving his men consistent leadership and guidance. Nimitz put forth much effort in the days that followed the attack to bring functionality and order back to the broken Pacific Fleet. Prioritizing efforts to repair and salvage damaged ships, he also bolstered defenses to stave off more Japanese aggression. Nimitz recognized the seriousness of the situation and the necessity of acting quickly to avert any more calamities. Furthermore, Nimitz understood how critical it was to keep his sailors and officers confident during this difficult period. He assured his staff members of the Navy's tenacity and resolve to face the difficulties ahead through open and honest communication. During this time, Nimitz's leadership strengthened his men's resolve and gave them a feeling of purpose and solidarity in the face of hardship. In a larger sense, Nimitz's response to the Pearl Harbor attack helped pave the way for the US's entrance into World War II and the ultimate defeat of the Axis powers. His prompt and resolute efforts following the attack were important in changing the course of the war in the Pacific theater and creating the groundwork for the Pacific Fleet's eventual revival. Being one of the most influential admirals in American naval history, Nimitz's leadership during this critical juncture in history cemented his reputation. Boldness, inventiveness, and a deep grasp of the dynamics of naval warfare were all hallmarks of Chester W. Nimitz's World War II strategic decisions and actions in the Pacific theater. In his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Fleet, Nimitz was instrumental in coordinating the Allied counteroffensive against the Japanese Empire, utilizing a range of tactical engagements and strategic maneuvers that ultimately resulted in triumph. Adopting an audacious and inventive strategy to advance across the Pacific theater, the island-hopping campaign was one of Nimitz's most important strategic choices. Instead of launching expensive frontal attacks against heavily defended Japanese positions, Nimitz chose to avoid some islands and concentrate on others that held strategic importance. By leapfrogging from one island to the next, Nimitz sought to isolate and neutralize Japanese strongholds while saving Allied resources and reducing losses. The Battle of Midway, a pivotal moment in the Pacific War, a critical turning point in the Pacific War, demonstrated Nimitz's strategic genius and decisive leadership. Anticipating Japanese objectives, Nimitz staged a daring ambush that caught the Japanese Navy by surprise, resulting in a decisive Allied victory. The Battle of Midway, a pivotal moment in the Pacific War, not only inflicted enormous losses on the Japanese Navy, but also broke its mystique of invincibility, clearing the stage for additional Allied gains in the Pacific. Additionally, Nimitz's management of naval air power played a vital role in deciding the outcome of the Pacific War. Under his direction, naval aviation squadrons performed daring raids and bombings against Japanese objectives, destroying enemy infrastructure and disrupting supply lines. Nimitz understood the importance of air superiority in gaining maritime dominance and ensured that Navy aviators received the support and resources needed to succeed. Overall, Chester W. Nimitz's strategic decisions and operations in the Pacific theater were instrumental in securing Allied victory in World War II. The United States Navy overcame formidable challenges and emerged triumphant in one of the most consequential theaters of the war, thanks to his innovative approach to warfare, steadfast leadership, and tactical brilliance. Nimitz's legacy as a visionary naval commander continues to influence military strategists and historians alike. The Battle of Midway, a pivotal moment in the Pacific War, fought from June 4th to June 7th, 1942, marked a crucial turning point in the Pacific War and drastically shifted the trajectory of the fight in favor of the Allied troops. Under the command of Admiral Chester W. Nimitz, the United States Navy decisively destroyed the Imperial Japanese Navy, inflicting permanent damage on Japan's naval capabilities and changing the balance of power in the Pacific theater. Strategically situated midway between the United States and Japan, the Midway Atoll held immense strategic importance as a forward operating base for both sides. Recognizing its significance, Admiral Nimitz masterfully orchestrated a preemptive ambush against the Japanese fleet, leveraging intelligence gathered from code-breaking efforts to anticipate the enemy's movements. The Battle of Midway, a pivotal moment in the Pacific War, unfolded as a series of intense naval engagements and aerial dogfights. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the United States Navy, aided by its carrier-based aircraft, launched a daring and coordinated attack that caught the Japanese by surprise. Devastating airstrikes from American aircraft carriers, including the USS Yorktown and USS Enterprise, sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, effectively crippling Japan's naval capabilities in the Pacific. One cannot overstate the significance of Midway. The decisive victory not only halted Japan's expansionist ambitions, but also shattered its strategic momentum. The loss of 4 aircraft carriers dealt a severe blow to Japan's ability to project power and sustain offensive operations in the Pacific. Meanwhile, the United States Navy emerged emboldened and strengthened, gaining newfound confidence in its ability to take the fight to the enemy. Furthermore, the Battle of Midway served as a morale booster for the Allied forces and a rallying cry for the American people. It demonstrated the resilience, determination, and heroism of the sailors and aviators who fought valiantly against overwhelming odds. Midway showcased the pivotal role of naval air power and the importance of strategic planning and intelligence in modern warfare. In essence, the Battle of Midway stands as a testament to the significance of decisive naval engagements in shaping the course of history. By turning the tide of the Pacific War in favor of the Allies, Midway paved the way for subsequent Allied offensives and ultimately contributed to Japan's defeat in World War II. Implementing the island-hopping strategy in the Pacific theater during World War II presented both challenges and successes for Chester W. Nimitz and the Allied forces. Designed to advance towards Japan by bypassing heavily fortified islands and capturing strategically significant ones, the island-hopping strategy aimed to outmaneuver the Japanese, weaken their defensive positions, and conserve Allied resources. One of the primary challenges in implementing the island-hopping strategy was the formidable nature of Japanese defenses on key islands in the Pacific. The enemy forces heavily fortified many of these islands, making them difficult to capture through conventional means. Additionally, the vast distances and logistical challenges inherent in conducting amphibious operations across the vast expanse of the Pacific presented significant logistical hurdles for the Allies. Despite these challenges, the island-hopping strategy yielded notable successes that contributed to the eventual Allied victory in the Pacific. One key success was the capture of strategic islands such as Guadalcanal, Tarawa, and Saipan, which provided forward operating bases for Allied forces and served as springboards for further advances towards Japan. By securing these islands, the Allies were able to establish airfields and naval bases within striking distance of the Japanese homeland, enabling sustained offensive operations. Furthermore, the island-hopping strategy allowed the Allies to exploit gaps in Japanese defenses and bypass heavily fortified islands, thereby conserving resources and minimizing casualties. This adaptive approach to warfare demonstrated Nimitz's strategic acumen and willingness to innovate in the face of formidable challenges. Moreover, the successful implementation of the island-hopping strategy helped to erode Japanese morale and weaken their ability to resist Allied advances. Allied forces exerted relentless pressure, combined with effective naval and aerial bombardment, gradually wearing down Japanese defenses and undermining their ability to mount a coherent defense. In the final stages of the Pacific War, Chester W. Nimitz played a pivotal role in orchestrating the Allied offensive that led to the defeat of Japan. As the Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Fleet, and later as the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Pacific Fleet and Pacific Ocean areas, Nimitz oversaw the strategic planning and execution of operations that brought the war to a decisive conclusion. One of Nimitz's key contributions in the final stages of the Pacific War was his leadership in coordinating the multifaceted offensive against Japan. Working in tandem with General Douglas MacArthur, who commanded Allied forces in the Southwest Pacific, Nimitz ensured seamless cooperation and coordination between naval and ground forces. This joint approach enabled the Allies to apply pressure on multiple fronts and exploit Japanese vulnerabilities. Nimitz also played a central role in planning and executing amphibious assaults on key Japanese-held islands, including Iwo Jima and Okinawa. These operations were critical to securing forward operating bases for Allied forces and bringing them closer to the Japanese mainland. Despite facing fierce resistance from Japanese defenders, Nimitz's strategic vision and meticulous planning ensured the success of these amphibious assaults. Furthermore, Nimitz's leadership during the final stages of the Pacific War was characterized by his commitment to minimizing casualties and preserving Allied resources. Recognizing the high cost of amphibious assaults and the potential for heavy losses, Nimitz prioritized thorough planning, reconnaissance, and logistical support to ensure the safety and effectiveness of Allied forces. In addition to his operational responsibilities, Nimitz played a crucial role in shaping post-war planning and reconstruction efforts in the Pacific. His vision for a stable and prosperous post-war Asia-Pacific region guided Allied policies and initiatives aimed at rebuilding war-torn societies and fostering peace and stability. In summary, Chester W. Nimitz's leadership in the final stages of the Pacific War was instrumental in securing Allied victory and bringing an end to the conflict. Through strategic planning, operational excellence, and a commitment to minimizing casualties, Nimitz ensured the success of Allied forces and paved the way for Japan's surrender. His legacy as a visionary naval commander continues to inspire military leaders and historians alike. Chester W. Nimitz left an indelible legacy and lasting impact on the United States Navy, cementing his place as one of the most influential naval leaders in American history. His strategic vision, leadership qualities, and innovations transformed the Navy and shaped its trajectory for decades to come. Nimitz's leadership during World War II, particularly in the Pacific theater, demonstrated his remarkable ability to adapt to changing circumstances, innovate in the face of adversity, and inspire confidence in his subordinates. His strategic brilliance, exemplified by the successful implementation of the island-hopping campaign and the decisive victory at the Battle of Midway, played a pivotal role in securing Allied victory in the Pacific. Moreover, Nimitz's emphasis on naval aviation and carrier-based operations revolutionized naval warfare and solidified the aircraft carrier as the centerpiece of American naval power. Under his command, naval aviation units played a decisive role in projecting power across vast oceanic expanses and conducting precision strikes against enemy targets, laying the foundation for modern naval air power doctrine. Beyond his wartime achievements, Nimitz's leadership left a lasting imprint on the organizational culture and professional ethos of the United States Navy. His commitment to integrity, excellence, and the welfare of his sailors set a high standard for naval leadership and inspired generations of naval officers to follow in his footsteps. Nimitz's emphasis on innovation and adaptability also shaped the Navy's approach to technology and strategy, ensuring its continued relevance in an ever-evolving security environment. Furthermore, Nimitz's contributions to post-war naval planning and reconstruction efforts helped to shape the United States' role as a global maritime power in the post-war era. His advocacy for a strong and capable Navy paved the way for investments in naval modernization and expansion, ensuring that the Navy remained at the forefront of American defense policy. In summary, Chester W. Nimitz's legacy and lasting impact on the United States Navy are profound and enduring. His strategic vision, leadership prowess, and dedication to service continue to inspire sailors and naval leaders around the world, making him a revered figure in naval history and a symbol of excellence for generations to come. Chester W. Nimitz possessed a myriad of leadership qualities that distinguished him as one of the most effective naval leaders in American history. His leadership style was characterized by a unique blend of strategic vision, integrity, adaptability, and a deep commitment to his sailors and the mission. One of Nimitz's most notable leadership qualities was his strategic acumen. He possessed a keen understanding of naval warfare dynamics and demonstrated a remarkable ability to formulate and execute strategic plans that achieved decisive results. From the island-hopping campaign to the Battle of Midway, Nimitz's strategic brilliance played a pivotal role in shaping the course of the Pacific War. Moreover, Nimitz's unwavering integrity and ethical conduct marked his leadership. He held himself to the highest standards of professionalism and moral rectitude, earning the trust and respect of his subordinates and superiors alike. Nimitz's integrity served as a beacon of moral leadership, inspiring confidence and instilling a sense of honor and duty in those under his command. Additionally, Nimitz exhibited a remarkable capacity for adaptability and innovation. Nimitz embraced new ideas and approaches to meet the challenges of modern warfare, unbound by conventional thinking or rigid doctrine. Whether pioneering submarine tactics or advocating for carrier-based operations, Nimitz demonstrated a willingness to embrace change and push the boundaries of naval warfare. Furthermore, Nimitz's leadership was characterized by his deep concern for the welfare of his sailors. He prioritized their well-being and safety above all else, fostering a culture of mutual respect and camaraderie within the Navy. Nimitz's genuine care for his sailors earned him their loyalty and devotion, inspiring them to perform at their best, even in the face of adversity. Ethical considerations and decision-making processes played a significant role in Chester W. Nimitz's leadership style, a blend of strategic brilliance, integrity, and adaptability, guiding his actions and shaping his approach to command throughout his career in the United States Navy. Nimitz was renowned for his unwavering commitment to upholding the highest standards of ethical conduct and moral integrity, even in the face of complex and challenging situations. One of the key ethical considerations that guided Nimitz's decision-making was the principle of doing what was right for the greater good. He understood the weight of his decisions and their potential impact on the lives of his sailors, the success of military operations, and the broader strategic objectives of the United States. Nimitz consistently prioritized the welfare of his personnel and the mission's success above personal interests or political considerations. Moreover, a strong sense of duty and responsibility to his country, along with the principles of justice and fairness, guided Nimitz. He approached decision-making with a clear moral compass, striving to ensure that his actions were in alignment with the values and principles of the United States Navy and the nation it served. Nimitz's adherence to ethical principles earned him the respect and trust of his subordinates, as well as the confidence of his superiors. In his decision-making processes, Nimitz employed a methodical and deliberate approach that considered various factors, including ethical implications, strategic objectives, and operational feasibility. He sought input from trusted advisors and weighed the potential consequences of each course of action before making a final decision. Nimitz's commitment to thorough analysis and thoughtful deliberation helped to ensure that his decisions were well-informed and principled. Furthermore, Nimitz was not afraid to make difficult decisions or to take calculated risks when necessary. He understood that leadership sometimes required making tough choices, and he was prepared to accept the consequences of his actions, regardless of the personal cost. Nimitz's willingness to make tough decisions based on ethical considerations further solidified his reputation as a principled and effective leader. In summary, ethical considerations and decision-making processes were integral to Chester W. Nimitz's leadership style, a blend of strategic brilliance, integrity, and adaptability. His unwavering commitment to ethical conduct, sense of duty, and thoughtful approach to decision-making guided his actions and earned him the respect and admiration of his peers and subordinates alike. Nimitz's legacy as a principled leader continues to inspire military leaders to uphold the highest standards of ethical conduct and moral integrity in their own leadership roles. Chester W. Nimitz's principles remain highly relevant in shaping modern naval strategy, serving as a timeless guide for navigating the complexities of contemporary maritime security challenges. His strategic vision, ethical leadership, and innovative thinking continue to inform naval doctrines and shape the approach of naval leaders worldwide. Nimitz's leadership embodies an enduring principle that emphasizes the importance of adaptability and flexibility in responding to evolving threats and operational environments. In today's dynamic security landscape, characterized by rapid technological advancements and asymmetric threats, naval forces must remain agile and responsive to effectively counter emerging challenges. Nimitz's emphasis on adaptability underscores the need for naval strategies that prioritize flexibility and innovation to address a wide range of contingencies. Moreover, Nimitz's commitment to ethical leadership serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of upholding the highest standards of integrity and moral conduct in naval operations. In an era marked by complex geopolitical dynamics and ethical dilemmas, naval leaders must navigate a myriad of challenges while upholding the principles of justice, fairness, and respect for human rights. Nimitz's unwavering adherence to ethical principles provides a model for contemporary naval leaders striving to maintain the trust and confidence of their personnel and the public. Furthermore, Nimitz's innovative thinking and strategic brilliance continue to inspire modern naval strategists to develop innovative concepts and approaches to maritime operations. From leveraging emerging technologies to reimagining traditional doctrines, naval leaders draw inspiration from Nimitz's legacy of boldness and creativity in confronting strategic challenges. Chester W. Nimitz's principles remain as relevant today as they were during his tenure as a naval leader. His emphasis on adaptability, ethical leadership, and innovative thinking continues to shape modern naval strategy, providing a timeless guide for navigating the complexities of maritime security in the 21st century. As naval forces confront new and emerging threats, they can draw inspiration from Nimitz's enduring legacy of leadership excellence in charting a course towards a safer and more secure maritime future.